Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch. This is the project we're making today. It's a cute little box. It's not too little though. It measures 3 by 3. Okay, we're using 3 celebration items today. A celebration is you get a free item for every $50 you spend. There's no limits. So the rooster is from Home to Roost. The greeting is from Thinking of You. And then the designer series paper is the botanical butterfly. Okay, so we're using lemon lime twist, and this measures 8.5 by 10 and 11/16. Scrap of Whisper White for our images, a scrap of lemon lime twist for our scallop square, and then the botanical butterfly designer series paper. We have 1 piece that measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and then 4 pieces that measure 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, so we're going to start out by getting the Simply Scored scoring tool and scoring this cardstock. I'm going to place it on the landscape side, and I'm going to score it at 3/4, 3 3/4, 5 3/4, and 8 3/4. Then I'm going to turn it on the portrait side, which is the 8.5 inch side, and I'm going to score it at 3/4 and 2 3/4 on both sides. I'm going to turn it and score it at 3/4 and 2 3/4. Now I'm going to take my scissors and cut these pieces out before I actually fold on the score lines. And the reason I do that is because I want the cuts to be accurate, and sometimes when you fold on those score lines, it gets a little off, okay? This is one of those boxes that if you're off by a 1/16 of an inch, it can mess you up. Okay, so on this side, I'm just cutting up to the score line, and my free inspiration sheet will have this diagram of this template, okay? Same thing on this side, just cut up to the score line. Now this is the top part of our box. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Detail Trio punch and round the corners. That just reminds me where the top of my box is. So then we can start cutting. So fold this piece in and fold that piece in, and these are our 4 tabs. So I'm going to trim each of these. You can trim them a lot or a little, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be exact. Okay, now we want to fold on those score lines since we didn't do that earlier, okay? I am going to take my bone folder and burnish those. We do have one more little thing that we want to trim. You don't have to, but it certainly makes things easier if you do. And it's these side pieces right here. I just like to give them just a tiny angle trim. Now you're going to place adhesive on your 4 tabs. So I'm going to be using my tear and tape. So if you look at the rooster, I have been trying to create a project with him for a couple weeks now, and I was never really happy with the colors I was using. And when I woke up today, I'm like, well, I don't have to color a rooster the color that they are. It can be like a Disney rooster. So then I was like, yes, I can use my favorite colors. This is one that I did earlier. I think that's Cajun Craze and Pool Party and Poppy Parade. And that one's cute, but I just love using my pastel colors. So what can I say? Okay, I'm going to take the Chick stand and my paper piercer, and I'm going to peel the backing off of the tear and tape. Okay. So I'm just bringing up the walls, just lining up the edges. One more. And I'll give those a little squeeze and make sure they stuck well. And I'm going to take the Designer Series paper and turn it over and add adhesive to all 5 of them. I know someone asked me the other day why I don't use liquid glue more when I film videos. And it is because I'm a hot mess. I am clumsy. We always joke and say I have 2 left feet. I trip over my own feet. Truly, I do. It's crazy. So when I film videos, if I were to use the liquid glue, I would have it all over me and my desk and everywhere else. So those of you that don't have 2 left feet, I'm sure you can work with it really well. And I know that if I were to practice, I could probably get better and I could use the craft mat. But yeah, that's my reason. So I'm just being transparent here that I would just have it all over myself. And yes, it is a fabulous adhesive. It works fantastic. I mess up often. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 3/4 inch circle punch. You can use any circle punch. And I'm just going to take off not even half, like 1/3. Okay? There's our box. Now, let's go ahead and stamp. I'm using Memento ink. And if you don't have the by the Bay stamp set for the greeting, just look for any greeting that will fit in a 1-inch circle. So, stamp the rooster. Isn't he so pretty? So, I'm going to show you a little tip on how I determine my images. Oh, I stamped that upside down. So, I'll cut this out with my 1-inch circle punch. I want to make sure I leave myself enough room so that I can add that little heart at the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'll take this to the catalog and I will determine what that will fit. So if you look at this, it fits, okay? So a lot of times that's how I determine what size I'm gonna use. Okay, for this one, we're gonna cut that out with the stitch-shaped framelits. We'll go ahead and color it first. So I'm using the combo of the Granny Apple Green, light and dark, Flirty Flamingo for that part, and Light Pool Party. So I'm going to start with the Light Pool Party and just color this quick and dirty. And then the dark one, I'm just going to maybe outline it just a tad. If that makes sense. And then I'm going to take the light. Ooh, wrong end. I have more control over the smaller end. I always say those that have mad skills in the blending department could probably use that end. I don't. That looks pretty good, right? I'm overanalyzing it. Okay, now I need to figure out what this part of his body is. And now I'm going to take the Light Pool Party and just color his eye a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to get the big shot. We're going to cut out our no, this is not Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist with the layering squares framelit, and then the stitch shape with the rooster. Okay, so here's the big shot. Magnetic platform and a cutting pad. Got the Lemon Lime Twist. now we're going to cut out the rooster. And I'm just going to center it. And I got to turn it at an angle. It's not cooperating. Okay, so let's get all of our pieces back in here. It looks good, doesn't it? So I'm going to attach this to the square just with my snail. I thought about leaving off this layer. I'm going to take a small mini dimensional and place it on the left side of the greeting. We're going to take one of the heart epoxy droplets. This is still in our Occasions catalog. And I want to take the dark Granny Apple Green and color one of these small hearts. Okay, I'm going to take my paper piercer, pick up that heart. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then I'm going to add it to the box using my dimensionals. Don't forget, there's a free PDF over on my website. It has a picture, the diagram, and the measurements, along with the supplies in case you wanted to order something. Okay, here's my original. Here's the one we just made. Pretty cute, right? Thanks, and have a great day. Bye.